Page 168, the Carnival of Venice. It's the last piece in the book. Congratulations if you made it this far. Well done. Now, if it's your first time through the book and you don't have a teacher, I would encourage you to go back and do the book again. Review everything, because you'll have forgotten things, you'll have missed things, you'll catch things, and oh yeah, now I understand. You'll be able to play the pieces a whole lot better going over it again. So just review it. Don't be in a hurry to go on. Take your time with this. Enjoy the trip. On the previous page, they talk a little bit about chord progressions. You can guess what a chord progression is. It's a progression of chords. It's a series of chords, one chord after another. And sometimes chords will follow in a particular order, and sometimes who knows what happens. But it's like whatever key we're in G major in this piece, so we'll stick with G major. A lot of times it'll be the 1, 4, 5, 7, 1 progression. 1, 4, 5, 7. You'll hear that. Or you might hear a 1, 4, 1. You don't usually hear a 1, 5, 7, 4. Turn around. That you don't hear very much. So you'll just hear them and over. And if you're going to get into composing at all, you'll learn what these are. Because there's a whole bunch of different ones. It's really up to you and your imagination and the sounds, because all kinds of chords have all kinds of different colors and sounds to them. That's what you're after. Just take it slow and easy here, though. On the following pages, they give you samples of all the different scales. I would prefer you wait on those. Stick with C major and G major right now. Just get those two scales good. 1 octave up and down. If you're getting bored with 1 octave up and down, then go to the intermediate level and go 2 octaves up and down. That'll be because there you're crossing over the 4th finger, not just 3rd. It's a little more difficult. And they give you some broken chord patterns there too, and that's going to be fun. I used to have a lot of fun just playing around with those. You just take a chord, and a broken chord, and you just play it up and down the keyboard. Just any chord doesn't matter. Even if you take a 4 chord, I can take it in this pattern. It's a C chord, but I can take it in this pattern. Or the 5/7 chord. You don't have to go that fast, but I remember when I was little, I used to just play this just for the fun of it. Just any chord, doesn't matter what it is, up and down. That's good practice. You learn to get it smooth and even and legato and all. Not bad. However, let's talk about this carnival thingy. 3/4 time, 1 hand at a time. Let's make sure we have these rhythms. By now, the rhythms shouldn't be a problem. By now, the notes shouldn't be a problem. If they are, you really need to go through this book again. But the last note on the first line there on page 168 here, it's like a pickup because all that stuff before is introduction. So it starts here. So it's 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 3/4 time, yeah. The end of the 3rd line. You have some rests here, but you've got to move up. Put 2nd finger on the D. And then the last line, cross over, 2nd finger, and then, so we just changed hand positions here. That's fine. Page 169. Now reach down with the thumb, because the thumb's here. And then claps. Now you're in this position. And the next line you have an A and a C. Okay, and the next line is a G chord. And then lift up and move. It's like at the end of a slur going up. That's the same thing we're doing here. So 4th, last 2 measures. You're here. And then here, just reach up, it's an octave, and then you can collapse. I know you have a rest and you can move, but I'm encouraging you to use the legato fingering, so even with the rest, I want to feel it. Left hand has the broken chord accompaniment. G chords, the 5/7 chord is D7, except instead of the F sharp, we're using an A. Remember there's 4 notes in that chord, and we can use either one. Here it's A. Reach down. It's an octave. And then back up. you have a rest to come back up. So fourth, over to page 169. At the end of the first line, now the right hand gets, or the left hand gets the melody. Second line, then thumb. You're lifting up, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, and as you do it, you lift out. I don't like that, but okay. And then cross over third finger. And then you go back to your chords. The end, last two measures, reach down. You got to come all the way down here. Okay, put the hands together. At the beginning, this is introduction. And then here, lift up here, that's by itself. So it's an F sharp there. And here, lift right there, lift up when you play that third beat. Then lift up. I hope. And when you can do that, you don't have to go that fast. You take it at your speed. But get rid of any hesitations you may have. The beat has to be steady. It has to be keep going. Then we add the articulation. You have a slur staccato. They say down, up, bounce, and this is with the wrist here. This is typical with waltzes. You do this a lot. These staccatos can be different lengths. Usually, I think in this piece, short works fine. In some pieces, they might be a little longer. Now, the point is, if it's not connected, it's staccato. So but I think short is better here. And then you start the piece. The kicker is, can you be legato? At the same time be here, because they're different. And that may take some practice because you're doing different things with the hands, but this is good exercise. We get over to page 169, second line, on these slurs, lift up. That's a staccato, lift up. So again. Now, dynamics just starts out soft. Again, this is an introduction here, and then you have a RIT, R-I-T in the third measure. You're gonna slow down a little bit. Softer, and then it starts up. They have a alt tempo there in the second line that tells you to go back to the speed you were going before you changed it. So whatever it was at the beginning, in this case. It doesn't mean go back to the speed at the beginning. Off tempo means go back to whatever you were going before you changed it, because the tempo can change many times in a piece. So this is just go back to whatever it was before you slowed down. And here it happens to be the beginning, because that's how fast we were going. So here. Now, I would include the off tempo in the last note or the first line. They're saying no, it's slow, and then take off. But in my mind, that pickup beat should be all tempo. It should be right there, the same speed. Now, this is moderately soft, just a little above soft. The left hand has to stay soft. Left hand's background, keep it out of the way. And then at the end of the third line you come down. You don't slow down, you just come down. But here, to me, this should still be moderately soft. But when they give you an hairpin like that, that indicates you got softer. Well, the dynamic they give you is supposed to apply to the melody, if there is a melody. So to me, that would mean now I'm softer than that. And I don't agree with that. Maybe the hairpin, they're trying to tell you it applies to the left hand. Because they can do that. If they move the hairpin down closer to the bottom staff, it might just apply to that staff. That happens a lot. But then the right hand is unaffected. It stays medium soft. And then at the end of the first line on page 169, you're coming down again. Not moderately loud. Now you go up a little bit. And they've got the P in parentheses in the second line. It's like a courtesy sign. It's just, oh, by the way, this should be soft. See, they don't need the P there at all. You should know it's soft because the melody's in the other hand. Keep it out of the way. We want to hear the left hand here. Same thing in the next line. The P that's in parentheses doesn't even need to be there. It's soft anyway. They're just being nice to you. Now the right hand, because it's the melody, and really they don't need a moderately loud there either, because the melody's already moderately loud. You should know it's moderately loud. Of course, they put the P there, it confuses you. The point is, the dynamic goes to the melody. And the other part, you adjust accordingly. And then you get louder at the end. And slow down, loud. And so, okay. Speed-wise, about as fast as I've been going, I think. Yep. It's a moderate waltz tempo, because you got slow waltzes and fast waltzes and in-between waltzes, and here's an in-between. So I think it's a little more on the fast side, though. It's up to you on how fast you go ultimately. You got to learn it first, because it ought to be accurate, and then you can start getting into the music and feeling it, and that'll tell you about how fast. And you'll play it at different speeds at different times, and that's okay. Then they add pedal. Don't know, but I like the pedal here because this is a happy, bouncy piece, and the pedal's going to mess that up a little bit. But let's talk about it. They put it in. I'm going to push the pedal down right after the notes. They're in the first line. I don't like pedal there at all. It changes it way too much, and we want to come down. And when you add pedal, it adds overtones, and that doesn't bring it down, it takes it up. So it's in my, if I'm going to add pedal, I'll only do it to the half note, because I want to hear those staccatos. No, I disagree with the pedal there. You don't need pedal there at all, but if you do pedal, I recommend only on the half note. And then lift up the pedal up and everything, so we get a little silence before you play that. It's like taking a breath. It's here, and then we don't pedal any of this. And now they're saying pedal in the third line. In my opinion, that just totally messes it up, because they're doing it here. So you lose the rests, you lose the slurring, you lose the staccatos. What's the point? Again, if I'm going to pedal at all, it'll only be on the half note in the last measure. Here. So I can hear everything, and then I'm going to lift the pedal up. Before I play, I want to hear a rest, I want to hear the phrase. They're saying to keep the pedal down until you play the notes in the next measure. Now, I totally disagree. If I were your teacher, we'd really do this. My opinion, you only pedal the half note, and that's it. Now, over on page 169, same thing. At the end of the first line, I'd only pedal the half note. Here. And lift it up before you play the quarter note. We want to hear a sound, like a breath. See? And then at the end, they're pedaling here. Now here it makes a little more sense because you're building up and you're getting louder. So fine, we can have overtones. But you're slowing it down, and so I think still I would not pedal maybe until the last measure. So it's, you can pedal there to add overtones to that, but otherwise I wouldn't pedal it. So I disagree with the pedal completely here. I'd like to play this with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Now I'm not going to do the dynamics, and I think I'm going to leave out the pedaling too because I disagree with it. If you want to pedal it, that's up to you. I'll give us 3 counts, so let's just do it together to check the notes and the rhythms and make sure those are correct. And I'll do the articulation too. 1, ready, go.